Hi guys, welcome back to Confessions of a Desi Drama Queen. We are your hosts, Sana and Amna, and
welcome to the show.
We're so happy to have you guys.
There's more and more and more of you guys, which is super, super, super exciting.
It's so fun. It's so exciting. We have said this before 1,000 times. We love you guys in our DMs. It's so much fun. It's such a good time.
And in the DMs, you guys will tell us like your crazy deep shit.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You're like not afraid. And we're like, okay, I love this energy.
We freaking start itching for it. We're like,
it's so fun. It's so fun.
Dude, and like, I just feel like every time we sit to talk, we'll be like, okay, today we're talking about blah, blah, blah. And then we're like out the door, outside the building, left field. And I'm like, we don't have enough time. Do we need to start live streaming forever and ever? I'm like, we don't have enough time. But we're back.
And I feel like half the conversations we have on the way here, I'm like, save it. And then I don't even know if we get to it.
I can't even remember. But in the moment, we're like, yeah, don't say that. That's genius. Don't say that. And then we get in and we're like, what did we say? What did we talk about?
Because we get caught up with another story.
Yeah.
And then another story.
Yeah,
but hopefully you guys enjoy the chaos too.
Hopefully.
Okay, so this week we're going to start right off the bat with our confession. Mm-hmm. And this is a pretty long one, which is great. Love that.
Oh, it's long. Do you want to ask chat to summarize it?
No. This is good. This is good. So I know a girl who has a 10-year history of absolute menace behavior as a daughter-in-law and wife. Things like allowing her husband to corner into giving her a divorce by all the men in her family.
Oh, so all the men cornered her husband to get a divorce from her.
Okay. So let me start over. Also, we haven't read this yet. So we're going to be hearing, both of us haven't, usually at least one of us has. So we're going to be giving you this real time.
And we were told that this is the most recent of the chronicles, that this is a chronicle.
Yes.
So we're going to hopefully maybe have more information and context later.
If you guys are interested, which I'm sure you will be.
We're getting this, I feel like we're getting this live, like
raw
data.
Literally raw gossip.
Yeah, actually straight from the
gossip.
Literally.
Okay. So I know a girl who has a 10-year history of absolute menace behavior as a daughter-in-law and wife. Things like allowing her husband to be cornered into giving her a divorce by all the men in her family while turning her phone off and being MIA, then showing back up a week later saying she had phone issues and gaslighting him saying, how could you betray me? You promised you'd never leave me. And then years later admitting she knew about it and masterminded the whole thing because she was unhappy. Oh my God, this is just the beginning part. But she put in place her brothers cornering the guy into a divorce.
Yeah, sorry, who is she?
So it's like, what do you mean?
Like, who is the mastermind?
The wife.
So the wife convinced all the men in her family.
Yes. So the wife convinced all the men in her family to corner her husband.
Yeah.
Because she was unhappy. To corner the husband while she was like MIA, turned her phone off and everything.
I see.
And she had her brothers or the guys in her family corner the husband to be like, you have to
give the divorce.
Right.
Interesting.
And she was like MIA. And then when she came back, she was like, she made it his fault, the husband's fault. She was like, how could you betray me? You promised you'd never leave me at the time. And then years later, admit that she knew about it and masterminded the whole thing because she was unhappy.
Oh, so the confession is about someone who's a crazy daughter-in-law and wife.
Yes.
I see. I was like thinking like, okay, I know the characters. We're locked in.
Okay.
I'm here.
So it's a daughter-in-law / wife, which is the wife that we're talking about. And then her husband is who we're talking about.
I see.
That husband got bullied into giving the divorce. Oh my God. I feel like this is not going well.
No. They know the story.
And
we're lost. They're not.
Okay. Yeah. Basically, she comes back. She's like, I like did the whole thing because like I was unhappy.
Okay.
From the wife's perspective. Okay. So the wife also doesn't get along well with the guy's family. So with the husband's family, because she comes from a family where she's the only daughter and she hates that her in-laws have daughters as well. So like the guy has sisters.
Yeah.
So she has to share that role with others in their house. Although she copies everything her sister-in-laws do, literally changed her mannerism of speaking, her style, her opinions to copy them, but will never admit it. Anyways, because the girl talked so much shit about her in-laws, one of her friends went onto her computer, typed in her in-laws' names, and screen recorded everything that came up. I mean, everything. Her calling her mother-in-law a bitch. Her father-in-law doesn't text her back quickly, so she'll say he must think he's the president. Saying things like her sister-in-law's faces give her panic attacks. Oh my fucking God. And if her husband, they rekindled, by the way. The husband and wife rekindled. Oh God,
don't they always?
That's so fuck. And if her husband wants to impregnate her, he will convince his dad to put their business in his name and leave their home to move to her country and be with her. She suggests time and time again that all her husband's parents' money is technically his. So is their house, their businesses, they should spend it on him, etc., while also saying his sisters should be deprived and don't deserve as much because they aren't the only son. You got some nerve to decide where...
Okay.
She calls her sister's husband the worst accusations you can call a man. She said she hates that her sister-in-law has children. Oh my God. She'd say she wishes her father-in-law would kick his daughters out of his house so she could live there in peace. Said if they don't, to forget having kids with her. She would say they need to be slapped. She would ask why her older sister-in-law goes to visit her parents' house all the time and said it made her feel choked. But mind you, this girl lives in another country altogether.
Oh, what?
She's not even there?
She's not even in the house? What? I thought
she's not even there? She's not even in the fucking room?
She's not even in the home?
She hasn't even entered the chat?
We haven't even entered the villa, babe. We're not even in it. What are you talking about?
There's more, but wait.
What? Whoa, did not see that coming.
This is insane. Okay. Anyways, there's so much that this girl would say and do to insult her in-laws, and she was like this for 10 years. So the family got sent these texts and they confronted the couple. They asked the son, like, what is this? Why would you allow anyone to talk about your family like this? And he flat out denied it. He turned around and said his sisters must have made it up.
Ugh.
Obviously, he knows the truth, but the hatred runs deep. He had his own middle child syndrome of sorts with his older and younger sisters, but his wife's dramatics made things worse. It got to the point where they blatantly lied about their texts so hard, his parents said, look, we can't support your marriage. The two of them were about to have a huge celebration in Rook City in the girl's hometown, and the guy's parents never supported it because how are you going to divorce someone's son and then swing right back in and pretend it never happened? The girl's parents never addressed it either, kept saying, let's just move on. That's so fucked up. Like, what do you mean? She never even had to apologize? Like, you said all these horrible things. You didn't even have to say sorry?
Also, they were going to have a second Rook City type thing?
I guess.
Okay.
Or maybe they were about to get married?
No, because they got divorced the first time.
Yes.
So the second time, but that's neither here nor there.
No, I don't think they got divorced.
Or like they got nikahd and then maybe they had like a situation like that. Yeah. There's reasons. I'm just getting lost in the details.
No, that makes sense. So the guy's family sat out of his wedding. The guy continued on with his celebrations without bothering to do the one thing that would have kept his whole family together, which is just own up to the messy behavior. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like you're in the thick of something really fucking tough that you created. So deal with the mess. Like, I don't understand why you would think that you can just avoid that.
Yeah.
The guy continued on, blah, blah, messy behavior. To this day, they pretend they did nothing wrong, and the girl continues with her fake nice girl facade, consistently posts about her wedding, saying it was her dream come true and happiest day of her life, blah, 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 never once having any shame for the fact that she single-handedly ostracized her husband from his entire family because she was a full Pakistani drama villain.
Damn, dude.
And this is like the most recent of the things that have been going on because she said 10 years.
Oh my God.
This is like a prime example of how messy I feel like Desi marriages can get behind the scenes. Like for sure.
Dude, but it's actually, and I'm imagining they've been married and they're in the same house. Just like last episode, she lives with her in-laws. You know, now she's trying to like put things in her husband's ear about,
but she doesn't
like,
live there.
But she doesn't even live there. First of all, drop the tutorial. Second of all, like, what do you mean? You're going to have all this to say to your husband about his
and his
family's
like that's
life and livelihood and how earth do your sister-in-law's faces give you a panic attack when you don't even see the faces?
No, literally.
What are you saying?
Also, I feel like just that you guys got caught up in it and you, instead of dealing with it, denied it is crazy. Like, you denied it is crazy.
Also, I feel like, that as the middle, if like the person in the middle, like whoever's in the middle between both families, it's a responsibility of yours to like bridge, be a good middle person, diffuse, set boundaries on either side, blah, blah, blah. Again, we talked about this last episode. You should do this before the marriage.
But no, but you know what? But this is different. This, I feel like it sounds like she's targeting every single person in the family.
Also because they had gotten divorced that she wanted. You guys got divorced and now you're back in the situation. Like, all right, guys.
Back in the situation. And I feel like, why, like, if you're going to be with someone, why add that level of mess to their life? That doesn't make sense to me.
And you gain what from it?
You gain what from it?
No, I guess in her mind, she thinks she's gaining like a business and this and that and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, that's what the vibe is.
Yeah, that is what it's giving. No, 100% that's what it's giving. Also, it's like, oh my God, that's so messy.
Damn, dude.
So messy. And then it's like talking about kids, talking about your sister-in-law's husband. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, the kids thing is crazy, actually. That's insane and scary.
Also, I feel like people that discuss other people's kids in that way, like, that's nasty.
No, that's like a ugly,
behavior.
dark.
Yeah, like, why don't like fucking reel it back? If you're ending up there, you need help.
And there are things that you can't come back from, right?
Yeah.
Like, there are things that can be said and done that you cannot come back from. So like, and Desi's are the professionals of throwing shit under the rug.
Oh my God,
the
dude.
Professionals of like, okay, what's done is done.
The most toxic.
Let's just go past it, guys. Let's just go past
Let's
it.
move on. We're family.
And it's
it
like,
happens.
No, take some accountability. We need to have a discussion. There's consequences. You can't just say and do what you want to say and do because
without any consequences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like,
and if you're gonna fucking stand 10 toes down in it, own it. I said that. I'm so sorry. Blah 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 blah. This is why. This is where. Like, then you better. That is such an ick to me for someone to create messes and tornadoes and then just like run away because they're like
run away or act like they don't know what you're talking about
or act like I just don't I that wasn't me. That wasn't me. The lack of like self-awareness is so scary. It's actually so scary.
It's such a I don't know, epidemic in the Desi community. It's so bad. The gaslighting and the we would never.
Yeah.
Like, what do you? I'd never say. I would. You know me. I'd never say that. It's like, come on.
Which actually shocks me because I feel like it's. I'm confused. How do you not look at yourself and think about like your role in any situation? Like I don't know. I'm like so confused. How do you not?
They literally can't even hear it.
They can't hear it.
I recently had an auntie tell me like, do the thing about like, oh, when are you gonna have kids? The kids, right? And my answer is always like, oh, inshallah, when the time's right. Like, oh, we're hopefully soon. Like, I always kind of like give a little vague answer. And then at some point, she like makes it a point to say to me, like, I never would ask my daughter-in-law when she's having kids. I would never ask her that. I did say to my son, but I never asked my daughter-in-law and on. I'm like, then why are you asking me?
Hold on. You ask your son, but you won't ask your daughter-in-law.
But you're asking me.
Yeah.
But you're asking
the
me.
Audacity.
Yeah, sure, you've never asked her. Like, if you're asking me, you've probably asked every other person. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
We talk about this all the time, how it feels like the generation of older Desi women, like, unless they're discussing appearance or commenting on appearance, they truly, truly do not know what else to talk to you about unless it's asking the nosy questions about whatever next phase of your life.
Yeah.
Kid 1, kid 2, why aren't you married? Why aren't you blah, blah, blah? Why aren't you blah, blah, blah? Why did you gain weight? Why did you lose weight? Why? Like, it's just only that.
Are you still with that guy? Are you not with that guy? I heard you were with that guy. I heard that she was with that guy, blah, blah, blah.
It's like their opener.
And the worst part is, I mean, it's not even the worst part, but one of the worst parts about it is they do it like you feel like you're at like a school lineup or something, or like everyone's lined
You're
up
like
to walk the plane.
spotlit.
Yeah, like you're in the middle of the living room
and you're like,
you just said hi to the person. It's like the first thing out of their mouth, like, and you're like, that cannot have been the first thing that came out of your mouth in this moment.
Yeah, like for me, more recently, it's like about my parents, because my parents were together for a long time and they're not anymore. Which I'm sure I'll discuss at some point. I just don't know when. But it's so, dude, I have been at weddings with you. I've been at weddings and like, it's like somebody's opener question to me. Like they'll be and I'm like, mid eating my gulab jamun, and they're like, so how are you? I heard about your parents. How you doing? You good? How was it? Why'd it happen? And I'm like,
I'm like, we're at a wedding and they want you to sit there and be like, well, let me tell you from the beginning why. And you know what? Sometimes even more annoying, some people do know why, and they're still asking you.
Like, and I get it because I'm a nosy bitch too. But have some, like, I feel like decorum's the word of the fucking week. Have some decorum.
Have some decorum.
Ask your chachi puppo sister. Don't ask me.
But time and place,
no,
right?
but also don't ask me. Like, like think about if you're it's like LinkedIn has like a first tier, second tier, third tier. Yeah. Are you a third tier person in my life? Yeah. Then ask third tier questions. Talk to me about the weather. Ask me about my outfit. Don't talk to me about my parents.
Yeah.
Like,
also,
you know what I mean?
That much of an age gap, it's like, go ask my parents. Go ask my parents, actually, though, because why are you asking me? That's like me going to like a 13-year-old and being like, so.
But can I tell you on the flip side what I'll do, which is like also really fucked up of me, but I don't know why. I just find so much, I don't know, it really like scratches an itch for me.
Okay.
When I see someone that I consider someone like, if I consider someone like, oh, I feel warm with them and they don't ask me and I know them well, I'll just offer up the information myself. Like, if I'm updating with someone I haven't seen in a minute, they'll be like, what's new? And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And I'll drop the bomb about my parents. And they, every time, watching their reaction is so satisfying, which is so fucked up. But like, because I'm like, I have to tell you at some point. So I'll like tell them. And every time I'm like, just like staring, waiting. And they're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah. Like just like enjoying the reaction. Is that so
dude,
up?
Mustafa told me recently, one, you're a menace to society, and that would be like my nightmare. But also maybe a little bit better, because I feel like on the flip side, I've had it where Mustafa told me his Mother's Day wasn't that long ago. And he told me that like his favorite thing to say during that entire week was anytime someone complained about their mom, he'd be like, must be nice. And he would say the same thing. He'd be like, dude, and then they would all get so uncomfortable.
So
I thought
up,
it was
right?
so funny. It is.
I don't know. Sometimes it's just like, maybe it's the rebel in us, like fucking, and it's, what's sad? It's the people that don't even ask.
That's the thing.
You know what I mean?
The people that don't ask are the right people to have the conversation with. And because they're not asking, you want to give it to them because that is decorum. But
and I know you're the person that I would share it with. The third tier person, I'm not sharing it with you.
You're having this conversation like over like brunch. You're not having it in the middle of someone's wedding and lying.
Well, sometimes I'll do it at a wedding. Depends on the person.
But you know what?
But I can laugh at it.
Like, it is
my story to tell, and I can laugh at it, and I will literally let them panic for like 10 seconds max, and then I'll be like, "It's fine. It's okay. Look." We're grown. We're adults.
Yeah. See, I was going to say that's the flip side, because I have been in situations where I haven't seen people after a long time after my mom's passed. And then I'll see them. And it's happened one time where I think an auntie had forgotten that my mom passed, which is totally fine, because it's not like they were best friends, right? Like, again, she's like 4th, 5th tier, right? And so
I love how this is going to be our new measure of people.
We're like,
she's 5th tier.
Yeah, she's like 5. So we're like at the party. I know her daughters, again, 3rd tier. Yeah. I know her daughters were catching up. We're like, hi, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. They had also lost a parent, right? Maybe I won't keep this because I don't know who they are. But like, basically their mom came and said hi to me. Like, as I'm talking to these girls, their mom came and said hi to me. And she's like, oh, and your mom, like, because she was trying to figure out who I was. And I was I'm like, oh, I'm Aisha's daughter. And she's like, Aisha, where is she? Which one is your mom? And then I had to be like, oh, no, my mom passed. And I saw the auntie go pale. Yeah. And then I saw her daughters look at her like, you've just ruined everything. And I'm watching this like silent panic happen. And I'm like, guys, it's okay. Like, that's totally valid.
Because honestly, when you're on the receiving end of that information, like, what are you supposed to do?
I mean, for me, I'm like, dude, it's okay. Like, you didn't know. What am I going to do? Be like, how dare you? You know, like, you didn't know. Yeah. Like, and I have the habit of talking about my mom in first person or like present day. Like, I will say is instead of was. So I'm like, I'm not giving you the right signals either. You know, like I'm leading with I'm Aisha's daughter as if she is sitting somewhere here. So it's okay.
It's almost like a sweet mistake.
It is a sweet mistake. I genuinely don't mind it.
Yeah.
But like they were like, Mom, and then she's apologizing. And I'm like, guys, like, no, please, like stop panicking. So yeah, because now I'm comforting you.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean? I'm like, it's okay. And they're like, no, that was really bad. And you're like, it wasn't that bad. It's okay. But anywho, yeah, people don't know time and place. And aunties especially are like vultures that are like looking for it, dude. And everybody knows there's always like the two.
Oh my God.
There's like that table of aunties that you know.
Just snickering.
They're just like, their noses or nostrils are like flaring, trying to find the vulnerable one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then prey.
Yeah. And then there's like a spotlight on you when you walk past. God forbid you make eye contact with one and they're like,
they fucking lure you in with the salam and you can't, we're so fucking programmed to be, you know, like
nice
Muslim
and, like,
nice and like say salam back, and then you're fucking stuck. They catch you and then you're stuck.
And then you have to figure out an exit.
Dude.
And it's
talk about a Velcro baby.
Right. It's the same aunties that if you were to say some shit back, they would be like,
I know, oh my God. They get so sensitive. That is such an auntie quality to be like talking or like being the first person to be like, oh, I noticed that you gained some weight. I noticed that you lost. Oh, I noticed. Oh, when are you going to have kids? It'll be that same auntie that will go home and be like, man, they were like saying this about me. And it's like, bitch.
Yeah. If you can't, look, say it to me if you can take it. But I also feel like, you know what's something really nice about getting into your 30s though? And maybe it happens sooner for some people and maybe I'm late. We all have our own timelines. But it is nice to get older and to like stop giving a fuck. You know what I mean? Like obviously we're polite and we're kind and demure and decorum and blah, 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 blah. But like there is sometimes where I'm like, you gotta let them, you gotta say a little something. Cause you're like, you guys are saying this and you're gaining what out of it? And also like, you think you can get away with it, but like we're grown now.
I actually love, some of our friends do that really well. I'm not good at that yet, but I aspire to be. Those of you that are. But some of our friends will do that. Where they'll make a comment back, and I'm like, honestly, good for you. I'm so glad because usually it'll leave them too stunned to speak.
Yeah, and you know what?
Because
I'm not there yet either. On a scale of like
I would
1 to 5,
love to be.
I'm not at a 5. I feel like my mom was at a 10. I'm at like, which at the time I'd be like, Mom, you're crazy.
I know, and now we try to channel her all the time.
And now I'm like, dude, she was right. They are annoying. They won't shut up. She does think she's all that. You know what I mean? And my brother and I were talking about this the other day that we were like, when we were younger and like, including my own, I'm circling back, making my mom the villain now. Like when our parents would be like, can you believe that girl? She said this and that, or that guy said this and that to his parents or to their in-laws or to their whomever, to their chachu, mamu, and pakistan, whatever. Yeah. When you're a kid, you're like, damn, that's fucked up. No way. Now I'm like, well, hell, yeah. Like, why do you care? Why 100%. Would they do that? The best example I can think of that is when, sorry.
You moved it like one time.
Yeah. When we were kids, I remember someone had just had a baby. And we had gone to that person's house in that week. Why? I don't know. And we get there and people, like adults were making comments after the fact that like, oh, like, you know, she didn't even take out like chai and she didn't even do this. Like just talking shit about the daughter-in-law, right? And like how like, oh, she didn't let anybody in or had boundaries, normal ass boundaries, right?
And just had a baby.
And it's like, they're not even the grandparents. You know what I mean? Like just had a baby. And when you're a kid, you're like, damn, what? Yeah, is that fucked up? Like you're like a 10-year-old and you don't like grasp what the parents are asking. And now I'm like, I wouldn't even go to my best friend's house after she just had a baby and expected her to lift a finger. You guys should have been there to be fixing her shit, bringing her food. Like, why are you actually there?
I don't understand that at all.
I now look back and it like makes me itch that I ever once agreed with them or thought 100%. That like that was like a crazy sentiment. Because I'm like, what are you talking about?
Honestly, a lot of becoming a girl's girl as a Desi girl. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna stop adjusting this. A lot of becoming a girl's girl as a Desi girl. I'm sure a lot of us are born with it. And I'm not saying all of the female figures are villains, but there's a lot you kind of have to unlearn. There's a lot you have to unlearn to be like, wait, I don't want to approach it that way. I don't want to do it that way. What were you just saying? Because I swear to God, I had a point.
That I was saying that They see girls. Oh, that now it like makes me like embarrassed that I used to think that way.
Yes,
and
yes,
stuff like
yes,
that.
yes. I don't remember, but
Okay,
yeah.
but yeah, no, it is, the audacity is like really insane.
Oh, sorry, I do remember.
Say it, thank God.
Sometimes I feel like, sorry.
I didn't know where that was. I was like, you got this, Anna. Whew, you got this. Thank God.
Don't make me lose it again.
Say it,
okay.
say it.
Sometimes it really bugs me when I see older women who have already gone through the things that we're like starting to go through, whether it's motherhood or being mother-in-laws or being sister-in-laws or whatever. Like when you're becoming in the role, when you're becoming the person in those roles, right? Like we're going to be in those roles one day too.
Yeah.
It really, really fucking bugs me when I see Desi, aunties, or anyone like want to like take it out on the girl after them that it didn't work out that way for them. Do you know what I mean? Like aunties that are like not kinder to the new girls that are having like new moms and stuff, that they're like not kinder and softer and like, oh my God, let me make sure you don't go through what I went through.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I'm sure there's so many people like that too. Like obviously there's people like that too. But the aunties that are the opposite of that and are like, oh, well, I went through this, so you should be able to like, just like so negative and projecting that anger towards whoever's going through that milestone, whether it's marriage or whatever, and are like, well, you should be able to blah, blah, blah because I handled blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That pisses me off.
It's like we get hazed.
No,
it's
but
like hazing. You know what I mean? Like they haze you before they let you.
But I feel like and I think that's so fucked up because if you've learned wisdom and had to go through that, shouldn't you be so much softer and kinder? Like I didn't get that. This is what I would do for someone if I, you know what I mean? Now that I've gone through it,
that there's a level of growth there.
Yeah, but therapy's only in this generation.
Okay. Pivot.
What are we
pivoting to? Dude, we keep saying we have pop culture shit to talk about, and then we can't even get through one.
I guess we could talk about, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like so much will change by the time this episode releases.
Yeah. Although I did want to ask you really quick, really fast.
Yes,
Do you feel like Sydney Sweeney's bathwater is actually her bathwater? Because I don't believe it.
Wait, this was in something, right?
What do you mean? No, she did a commercial.
Right.
Where I thought like people were saying she's selling her bathwater. Like that's like part of the commercial. It's like a little gimmick thing.
Yeah.
Like a skit. And then they're like, no, she's selling her bathwater. It's in the soap. Also, soap bar has a hole in the middle. Think of that what you will.
Shut the fuck up.
So girls are like, you know, people are upset on social media being like, she's bringing women back. Like she's like obviously catering to the male gaze. I'm like, wait, even like, guys, I don't think it's her actual fucking bathwater.
I don't think so.
How
either,
they just had Sydney Sweeney in one bathtub.
Also,
they made
like, isn't
all
that
these
a
bars
fucking
to send out.
hazard? But then why are they claiming it? Also, that's weird behavior, but I'm not thinking of it as like, oh, you're setting women back. Like, I'm not thinking of it in that way. I'm just like, that's just fucking, who is your PR manager? We need to re-strategize.
Okay.
Or is it genius?
I think she's playing into it because a reporter had asked her, like, what do you think of these comments? And she responded saying, I think it's more fun to hear what other people have to say about it. So I think she's kind of playing into it. Now, obviously, there are tiers to this, right? Like, I would love the stick to a man, like, you know, make him pay for shit that, you know, like if the men are paying for it, she's getting paid and it's not even her actual fucking bathwater. Because why would we believe that?
But what if it is?
Okay, so they put her in a bathtub, right? Even if it is her bathtub, water. How much can one bathtub produce in soap? It's like a droplet of her water.
She's just sitting in water, like
literally. It's like
they're
either diluting it or there's like a mean little splash of it, if that even. They probably just took a little and like.
But wait, the soap has a hole in the middle?
It has a hole in the middle. Which
all of their soap does, or just this?
I don't know.
Sydney Sweeney one.
I think just the Sydney.
That's so weird.
Look, whatever it takes to get someone to wash themselves, right? Like I just feel like she's doing it to like be like you're an idiot for buying the fucking soap.
Whoever's buying it, like you're mad at your husbands, whatever.
Because like I was gonna say, this is like tiers. Like this is not the Bonnie Blue situation.
No,
you know what I mean? Like that's a whole.
That shit sends me into a dark headspace. I'm like,
sending
what
people.
the fuck?
That's sending women like light years back. The Sydney Sweeney thing.
There's always gonna be a Bonnie fucking Blue. There's always gonna be, you know what I mean? There's always gonna be like, so just fucking don't get
into it. But
it is getting her good PR. The Sydney Sweeney thing is getting her PR.
Yeah. I feel like it's definitely not her bathwater, and I think she's playing a game. And I think the people that are buying it are like falling for it. You know what I mean? And it's like a joke, but not a joke.
To be that rich.
But maybe it's a dangerous joke.
From the last episode, there was 2 things we were saying. I had a story about feeling poor. Speaking of being poor, well, I don't know how to transition
Speaking of
into
being poor,
it.
pivot.
Speaking of being poor. In the last episode, I was starting to tell this story, and I can't believe I'm like remembering to bring it back right now because that never happens. But I was talking about how we were talking about something about flights. I don't even know what we were talking about. American Airlines and Amna's debacle. And if you didn't hear it, you should listen to it. And hopefully that doesn't put her on the no-fly list. But speaking of airlines, dude, you know the like I had one of those moments where like I wish someone would have fucking blinked or stopped me before I like made up myself look like a fucking idiot. Like I had one of those. But I was on a work call with a client and she's talking about how she's going on a trip. And I'm like, oh my God, how exciting. It's a super long flight that she's going on. So I'm like, oh my God, amazing, amazing. She's going with her whole family. I'm like, by the way, you know, you really should get those fucking, which shout out to Amna's friend P. She put us on to these like basically swings that you put on your tray, your food tray.
Oh yeah.
When you're sitting in fucking economy, like we all, like I do, like you, for the long flights, because we did this for Thailand, Amna and I did this for Paris. It's basically a swing. You put it on your tray, it hangs there, and then you can put your feet up on it, and it just makes a long flight a lot more comfortable. And it's like, you know, like the cheap way of trying to have some kind of comfort in your fucking tight ass seat. So I'm like, you know, I'll send you the link. You know, you might need it. It's a really long flight. Like that'd be a great idea. And she's like nodding the entire time, being super nice, smiling, nodding. And then she goes, no, yeah, like, I mean, we'll be in business class on like, dude, it was like a amazing airline business class. And I'm like, yeah. Forget I said it.
You have like the swing thing. You've got like tools.
I'm
and
like
an inflatable
like on
pillow.
a little fucking
You're
dude,
like cranking something in the middle seat.
That's me.
And you're like, guys,
and she's
I
like,
gotta get you on this.
and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you don't want to miss out on this.
She's
comfort.
like, that's cute.
She's like, that literally.
That's really
she's
sweet.
like, that's so.
That's really
sweet.
what a treat for
Thanks
you.
for thinking of me. Anyways. And I wanted to die inside. I was like, oh my God, I'm so poor.
Dude, that's so painful. And you probably explained it so much.
The joy I had in telling her about this contraction.
We're making it out of here. We're fighting the man.
I got you.
Yeah, we're going to make our own
Little
first
did
class
I
back
know.
here.
Dude, how embarrassing. Do you like, and I feel like I've been having those moments like a little too often lately where I'm like, why am I not in the right tax bracket?
No. I used to not give a shit about first class, and now I can't walk past it without like seething.
I'm fucking, speaking of like Nazar, I am like actively trying not to be a bad person when I'm walking past first class. I'm like,
but I'm making eye contact. Because everybody in first class always gets so uncomfortable when you make eye contact with them as you're walking your ass back.
I can't wait to be in first class and just stare back.
And people are kind of like, oh, sorry, like, oh, okay, like, you know, whatever, as you're like shuffling through with your freaking whatever.
It's the worst.
And then when they're not looking at me, I'm like, yeah, if you're sitting up here, do it with your chest. You know what I mean?
The time I did the contact the most was I really tried for a Turkish flight. I just tried to do the like, hey, just upgrade me, which happens to everybody but me.
Same.
Everybody but me gets upgraded, and every time with the points and the everything, and I'm like, I don't know why I've never, not even on a fucking Spirit flight have I sat first class.
I got a $50 voucher. Continue.
Like we're doing this wrong.
Yeah, we deserve to be in.
First class.
That's how you can make it up to me, American.
Well, we're not going to get there if we're talking shit about American Airlines.
I know, but and not to like add to the list, but like what's for first class is basically what used to be economy.
I know.
Economy is like we're basically like
I keep thinking that I'm like,
up.
why do I remember being 7 and thinking thinking economy was like fucking you're living.
Yeah,
you know.
Now I'm jealous of like a toddler who still barely has.
It actually really pisses me off when I see kids in first class. It really, really, really irks me.
I'll top you when I see a dog in first class. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
I will say.
Yeah, because you would put Theo up there. And
no, without shame, if I had the money, me and my dog would be in first class. I will put my dog in first class before my kid.
I was just about to ask you, and I don't think I'm going to like the answer. If it was between me or Theo, her dog, and it was like you only have space for Amna or Theo in first class with you.
But where would I put him? Who would he sit
like
with?
Someone in the back.
He would kill them. Oh, with our family?
Like someone like
Arabia?
Put them in economy.
Yeah, he can stay there. You come up.
Okay.
Yeah, but I feel like you guys might have to fight it out.
We might have to cut that out because they're gonna be like, so you're gonna take Bodge to first class, not us.
Well, they take each other to every festival, so I fucking stand on that. Anyways.
Damn. I would fight them for it. I would fight everybody for it.
The thing is, in our family, age, it is an age system. We don't have, that's our class system, is age. Whoever is oldest in line of oldest to youngest gets food first, gets priority of first.
Do we get food first?
I'm not. You're the first to line every time. You're like,
no, but no one's offering it to me. Like, I'm gonna go ahead.
No,
I just
I'm not.
walk my
All
ass
the
up
cousins
there.
line up in order of age,
Aww.
and I know that because I have a weird thing about wanting to be the last one to get the food. I don't know why. So I'll be after all of them, and every time they're like, B, go. And I'm like, guys, let me feel young. And every time you're already like, Sana, what the fuck are you doing here?
That
like,
is true. Plate? I am like, Sana, come on.
Or
but
like sitting
only
in the
with our
front
younger
seat.
cousins. I wouldn't do that with like, obviously.
No, I'm saying age order.
Yeah.
Obviously our nani amigos first, and then the Kalas, and then us. You will go, you'll stand before Usman every day of the fucking week.
Yeah. That's true.
Anyways.
Speaking of aging and being poor, but aging, poor health, for the first time, well, it's not the first time in my life, but since I've turned 30, for the first time last night, I was like, either this is a heart attack or I'm having heartburn. I had my favorite, which is banchan, my favorite like go-to
Banchan
meal.
Sponsor her. She's a fucking ride or die for banchan.
I love banchan, and this is not a complaint. But I had their spicy tacos, which I've been having always. And I had spicy tacos and they were really spicy, but we lived through it. It's fine. And then at night, I had the most severe heartburn. I slept so bad. I literally only came to life on the drive here. Like, only when we started talking that we were coming here and we're doing the podcast was I like, oh yeah, I love my life. But all morning, I've been so miserable. I'm like kind of like feeling weird because my back is feeling funny. I had to like dig for a Pepto-Bismol. And I was mad. I was like fiending for it. Like I was on my fucking last breath.
Oh
like,
my God.
It's like every time I laid down. So I'm like, I'm trying my best to watch Love Island.
The first time having heartburn is really like,
I'm like asking ChatGPT, I'm like, should my jaw be hurting? And then the next, like this morning, I literally looked up this and I was like, I'm getting master Botox. I don't give a shit because last night my jaw was in pain and I already have
jawline's about to
PNJ.
get so skinny.
Let's hope so. But like, I hope next episode I'm like, like it's like tight. But I was like, and all day I've been feeling the heartburn. And I'm like, what's happening to me? The horror movie, first of all, it got me. Second of all, heartburn. What's next?
Aging.
Like
aging.
Too much.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite tacos. It's not even like a random meal that I ate.
That's the worst.
So I'm going to keep fighting the heartburn. I had a Pepto-Bismol this morning.
It hasn't won yet.
It's not winning. I'm fighting this fight.
You got this. Yeah. Okay. Can I be a bitch? So my can I be a bitch is I'm so sick and tired of 8 to 10 episode seasons. Like I'm done. It pisses. What do you mean? Oh, it's like, so annoying.
You want more?
Yeah. I want like a minimum 13 to 15 episodes. I feel like that's a season at minimum.
Yeah.
Give me a good amount of episodes. Like let me feel, especially if you're gonna space them out week after week.
What's your max? How many do you want?
Max?
Like is there a max
22
for you? Seasons?
Oh, I'm saying episodes per season. 22
got
is
a
my
number
max.
for it. 22 is your max for
episodes per season.
How many seasons can you do of 22?
Oof, not many. Maybe 6 if I'm really committed.
Okay.
What about you?
I feel like I could do, if each season, I'm okay with 6 to 8 episodes.
What the fuck?
But I could then do maybe like 10 seasons.
We're saying the same thing. You're saying 34C.
I know, but I like it dragged out a little
32B.
bit.
It's the same bra size.
Yeah.
Okay,
literally.
what's yours?
I lost it. Okay. My can I be a bitch is...
So annoyed that you don't have bitchy things to say because now for the last 2 episodes it's just me.
No. I had one and now I lost it. Hold on. Let me just be a bitch about anything.
Okay, you got this.
Let me just think of something that I hate.
Knees weak, palms are sweaty. Vomit on a sweater already.
I'm having a really hard time. No. Okay.
You don't have to be a bitch.
No, but I'm like, but I wanna be. I am. Okay, I have one.
Okay.
I have one.
I believe her now.
I have one. I am not a fan. I get it. And it's coming from me who like lived, breathed Avril Lavigne. Like there's an alternative girl in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm right there with you. I am not a fan of the comeback of the streak highlights.
Is it coming back?
It is. The raccoon highlights are starting to come back. And I get it that it was very Christina Aguilera. I get it.
If you look like Christina Aguilera.
But I don't love it. But
Cut to us in 7
cut to
months.
me with I'm gonna have it next episode and be like, guys, I love it with my little boo boo.
I will cry scream.
Yeah, but that's all I got. That's a little
okay. Well,
okay.
You killed it. That was a good one.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Like, subscribe, follow, DM us. I don't even know if we said this the last time, but do the dance. We miss you. Dance with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys.